Students, in the past few lectures, we are learning about electric potential and electric field. And in today's session, we are going to find out electric potential due to extended charges like rod, plate, and spherical charge distribution like sphere, etc. So understand carefully, understand the concept, and try to use the same thing for all extended objects. Already we have learned how to find out electric field due to extended charges and electric force due to extended charges. Same procedure we will be following here also. We will be using the concept of integration and differentiation, and we will find out electric potential. Sorry. So we have two different ways where you can find out electric potential in such type of cases, because we already know how to find electric potential using electric field. Electric potential can be written as V is equal to integration of E dot dr, right? E is electric field. We already calculated electric field due to a rod on the axial line and as well as on the equatorial line. We have calculated that. We have calculated how to find out. We have found electric field at this point, right? E, we have found it. So directly you can substitute that E value over here and you can find out electric potential, right? Now electric field at that particular point due to this rod on the equatorial line is calculated, and you can refer the previous videos for that particular derivation. So E can be written as lambda divided by 2 pi epsilon naught into R. This is electric field due to a rod on the equatorial line. Now in order to find out electric potential, within one step you will get the answer. Simply take this E value and substitute in this equation. So V will be equal to electric potential, and this is integration of E dot dr. If E and R both are in the same direction, then you will get here positive. If E and R both are in opposite direction, then in such cases you need to take it as negative, because cos 180 will be equal to -1. And this is E dot R. This is the dot product, right? So as it is dot product here, that depends here negative value. In some textbooks they will be taking here negative. That depends upon the sign convention E and R. So directly I am substituting E over here. That is lambda divided by 2 pi epsilon naught R into dr. All constant terms you can bring it out. So lambda is constant, 2 pi epsilon naught is constant, and leftover is dr divided by R, right? Now it is integration 1 by R dr. Integration 1 by R dr is equal to log R. It is lambda divided by 2 pi epsilon naught into log R. This is the electric potential value on the equatorial line. Because it is a scalar quantity, you need not you should not consider this as vector, because it is, as it is a scalar, we don't have lot of complications in case of potentials. But whereas in case of field, as it is vector quantity, you have some restrictions. You cannot add vectors in different directions. Therefore, you need to be careful when you are finding electric field. But in case of electric potential, lot of complications will be reduced because it is a scalar quantity. And this is how you can find out electric potential on the equatorial line by using electric field. This is one way where you can find out electric potential, and this is method 1, right? It is simple method, because you know electric field already. We have calculated that electric field you will be substituting in this basic equation where V is equal to E dot dr. In that, if you substitute, you will get electric potential, right? So this becomes very simple. Suppose if you do not remember electric field equation, if you do not know this equation, if you forgot it, E is equal to lambda by 2 pi epsilon naught. If you forgot this equation, then you will go for traditional method where choosing one small element, and because of that element you should find out electric potential at point P, and then you should find out electric potential, right? So now let us derive that also. Suppose if electric field, if you forgot, then in such cases what you'll do, simply you'll choose very small element over here. This element has charge dq, and this element has some length L, dl. This element has some length dl, and this is a point where you are finding electric field, and this distance you can write it as, from here to here you can take it as L, and this total length, it can be r plus L, r square plus L square under root from Pythagoras theorem. Okay, so what you'll do now, electric potential at this point P due to this very small element you will calculate first. So dV is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into dq divided by, separation it is under root r square plus L square. This is electric potential because of this very small element. Let me take this as equation number 1. Now as we know, lambda is equal to capital Q divided by L, which is equal to dq divided by dl. Now take this substitute over here in this equation 1. Then dV will be equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into dq can be written as capital Q divided by L into dl divided by under root r square plus L square. This is dV potential because of this very small element. Now you can choose another element over here. Because of that element also you will have same potential over here, and similarly like that you will have all potentials because of very small elements, but here you need not resolve them into components because it is scalar quantity, right? So what you'll do, simply V will be equal to integration of 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught capital Q by L into dl divided by under root r square plus L square. Now what you'll do, simply take out all constant values out. This gives you k capital Q divided by L into integration dl divided by under root r square plus L square, and limits you can extend it from minus L by 2 to plus L by 2. Okay, these are the limits. Now from here it is left to you, you can continue this integration part is left to you. You need to integrate this. You can just take like you can take tan theta. Let me consider this as angle theta. Tan theta is equal to opposite side L divided by adjacent side, it is R. From here you can take L is equal to R tan theta. L is equal to R tan theta, then dl will be equal to R into tan theta will be secant square theta d theta. Take L and dr in this equation, substitute them and find out the integration, and finally substitute the limits over here, so that you will be getting the same value, electric potential V, as lambda divided by 2 pi epsilon naught into log r, log small r. Same value you will be getting here also, but this is little bit lengthy. It is lengthy process. Whereas if you remember electric field, finding electric potential is very simple. You have a relation between electric field and electric potential. Directly you can use that field value over in that equation and you can find out electric potential. First method is very simple. Directly you will get the answers. Second method is little bit lengthy, but here also you will get the same answer. So in this particular slide, we are going to find out electric potential due to infinite plane sheet of charge, which is non-conducting material. So in case of non-conducting sheet, already we have learnt a sheet is that where charge is being distributed uniformly throughout, like it is extended two-dimensional, and it is extended up to infinity because we are considering that it is infinite plane sheet. Okay, and this is non-conducting material, therefore charge will be distributed throughout inside also charge will be there, and even on the surface also charge will be there. So if we take a sheet, even though it is very small thin sheet, even though it is very thin sheet, but for electrons its width is very large because electron size is very small. It is of order 10 power minus 31. So it's very small. For electron it is very large, but for us its thickness is very small. But for an electron the thickness is very large because the width, mostly you may take 1 millimeter. 1 millimeter is very small for us, but for an electron 1 millimeter is very large. Therefore, when you are handling this kind of sheets, first you should check whether it is infinite plane sheet of non-conducting material or conducting material. If it is non-conducting material, then in such cases charge is distributed uniformly throughout its surface. Throughout the surface and even inside the surface also charge is being distributed throughout that particular material. So already we have calculated electric field if it is positive charge, as we are considering by default it has positive charge. If this is positive charge, field extended is right side over here. This is E bar, and electric potential also will be perpendicular to this. Similarly, if you are finding electric field will be extended left side. So because of this total material, because of this total conducting non-conducting material, field over here we have already calculated. E will be equal to sigma divided by 2 epsilon naught. This is electric field due to what we say non-conducting sheet. E is equal to sigma by 2 epsilon naught. Now in order to find out electric potential, we have basic relation. V is equal to integration E dot dr. Now E and dr, if both are in the same direction, then in such cases you will not get negative over here, and even if the charge is negative, then you will get negative over here. So in most of the cases by default many textbooks take negative sign over here. V is equal to minus E dot dr. So I am not taking that negative over here. Then this gives you simply E sigma by 2 epsilon naught into dr. Sigma is constant, that does not change. 2 epsilon naught is also constant, that does not change. You can just bring it out. Integration dr will be equal to r. So sigma r divided by 2 epsilon naught. This is simple equation for electric potential due to non-conducting sheet. See, within one step you have calculated that. Within one step you are getting the answer. But whereas if you want to find out electric potential by regular method which we use, integration and differentiation, in that case it will become very complicated. First you need to take very small rod of element some dq charge, and from that you should find out electric potential at that point, and then you need to integrate it between the limits minus infinity to plus infinity, so that you will be getting net potential. That become very lengthy. So if you remember electric field equation, directly you can substitute that here so that you can find out potential very easily. V is equal to sigma r by 2 epsilon naught. This is for non-conducting. Now let us take for conducting material. For conducting material, as we know, like this is a conducting material, and this conducting material also have some charge. Like on left surface there will be charge, and as well as right surface there will be a charge. Even though it is 1 millimeter thickness, 1 millimeter thickness is very small for us, for people, but for an electron it is a little bit larger. Therefore, it is being treated as this surface is being treated like this. Okay, it is being treated like this. So positive charge will be distributed on right side and as well as left side uniformly. So inside there will be no charge, but for non-conducting material, inside also there will be a charge. For conducting material, inside there will be no charge. So on the surface left side you will have some charge, and on the surface right side you will have some charge on this surface totally. So in such cases what you will do, you will be finding out electric field first here. Okay. Now electric field because of this will be like, for example, if I am taking a sheet over here, let us take two different sheets. This is having positive charge. This is also having positive charge. I am finding field over here. Okay. Because of this particular positive charge, there will be field in this direction, that is E is equal to sigma by 2 epsilon naught. Okay. Because of this particular sheet, there will be field in this direction, and this is also sigma by 2 epsilon naught. Now totally at this point P, what is the net field? E will be equal to sigma by 2 epsilon naught plus sigma by 2 epsilon naught. Therefore E will be equal to sigma by epsilon naught. Okay, that is the difference between non-conducting material and conducting material. For a non-conducting material, inside there is no charge. Inside there will be charge. So we will be treating the total as one particular sheet. But for conducting material, only on the surfaces there will be charge. As a result, you will be treating that as two particular sheets. This is one sheet right side. This is another sheet left side. Left side sheet is being uniformly distributed with positive charge. Right side sheet also been distributed with uniform positive charge. Because of right side sheet, field is sigma by 2 epsilon naught. Because of this second sheet 2, there will be field sigma by 2 epsilon naught. I'll add those two so that you will be getting net electric field E, that gives you sigma by epsilon naught. So electric field here can be written as sigma by epsilon naught. Now in order to find out potential, what you'll do, simply V is equal to integration sigma by epsilon naught into R dr. V will be equal to sigma R divided by epsilon naught. This is the final expression. V is equal to sigma by epsilon naught into dr. So just substituting that sigma by epsilon naught in this particular equation, you'll be directly getting, see, within one step you'll get the answer. Only one step. You should remember electric field equation. E is equal to sigma by epsilon naught, and understand the difference between non-conducting material and conducting material. For non-conducting material, one side field extended is sigma by 2 epsilon naught. For a conducting material, one side field extended will be sigma by epsilon naught. Remember that thing. So taking that E value and substituting in this basic equation, you will be getting electric potential. It's very simple. For a non-conducting sheet, denominator there is 2 extra. For conducting sheet, there is no 2 in the denominator. That is the difference between conducting and non-conducting sheets. And this should be very clear. Do you have any questions? So students, in this particular slide, we will be finding out electric potential due to a charged ring. Now let us take a ring. This is a ring, right? And here is radius R. This is radius R. Of course, this is center. Here you want to find out electric potential. And this is ring of radius R. And here is what X. This is a point where you want to find out potential. And this total has charge Q, and its total length is 2 pi R. Okay. Now what you'll do in order to find out electric potential, so you have two different ways. One is, if you know electric field due to a ring on this particular point, so we have basic equation E is equal to 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught into capital Q into X divided by, X square plus R square whole power 3 by 2, right? This is the equation which we have. Electric field due to a ring. This is for ring. If you remember this value, then everything becomes very simple. What you'll do, simply you will find out electric potential as V is equal to integration Qx divided by, I'll write it as K, 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught, I am writing it as K, X square plus R square whole power 3 by 2 into dx. Okay, so simply you'll integrate this. All terms are constant terms. You will bring it out, and only x will be left over here that you can integrate, so that you will be finding electric potential, right? Evaluate this integration, you will be getting finally electric potential due to this ring. This is first method. And the other method which we have is our regular method of using integration and differentiation techniques, and we can find out that. In order to do that, what you'll do, simply first you will take very small element over here. This element has charge dq, and its width, it will have some width. Let me take it as dr. Now because of this, there is a potential over here. That potential will be dv, which is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught dq divided by, separation is under root r square plus x square. So it will be r square plus x square whole power 1 by 2. That is dv. Take this as equation number 1. Okay. So this is dv. What you'll do, simply in order to find out electric potential over this particular point, because we are dealing with a scalar quantity, you need to add these all potentials in order to find out net potential. So that gives you integration dv. So v will be equal to integration of dv is k into dq divided by r square plus x square whole power 1 by 2. Bring constants outside. It is k divided by x square plus r square whole power 1 by 2. I'm sorry, it is 1 by 2 into integration dq. Integration dq is q, right? So v will be equal to k divided by x square plus r square whole power 1 by 2 into integration q is q. This is the electric potential due to a ring. It's very easy to find out. Students, in this slide I'll be explaining how to find out electric potential due to a charged disk. Already equation is being written over here. I'll explain the procedure, and you should find out electric potential due to disk yourself. So I'm not going to do total derivation here. Just I'll explain the procedure, and with that procedure you can find out electric potential due to a disk, right? So for that, what I'll do, first let me take a disk. This is a disk, and it is center of the disk. As you know, disk mean it is completely distributed throughout the surface. Charge is being distributed, right? Now this is a disk, and this disk has radius r. This disk has radius r. I want to find out electric potential at this point. Fine, you want to find out electric potential at this point. Now let me consider this distance as x. Okay. Now in order to find out electric potential at this particular point, like we have two methods. We can use directly electric field equation, substitute in the integration part, and you can find out electric potential over here. That is one way. The other way is you can choose very small element within this particular disk. I'll be choosing this very small element. Okay. This is very small element. If you cut this very small element of the disk, what you will get? This is a ring, right? It is a ring, and this ring has charge dq, and its width, this distance, this radius, I consider it as r dash, and its radius is r dash. Its width is dr dash. Width is dr dash, and total length of this will be 2 pi r dash. Okay. Now because of this very small ring, you should find out electric potential first. From this very small ring, you will be finding out electric potential dv, right? So dv equation which we have derived in the previous part, for ring we have derived electric potential, right? So that potential you will be writing here. dV is equal to K into dQ divided by R dash square plus X square whole power 1 by 2. This is dV. Now what you need to do, you need to integrate this total, but here R dash is not constant. R dash is variable. R dash varies from 0 to R. So what you will do, simply you will be taking sigma is equal to capital Q divided by total width, that is 2 pi capital R, which is equal to charge of this is dq, very small ring, and its width is 2 pi R dash into dr dash. So from here dq can be written as sigma into 2 pi R dash dr dash, right? So this is equation number 1. This is equation number 2. Take this equation 2, substitute in equation 1 and integrate it. V will be equal to K and the sigma constants. I am bringing it out. Integration dq is 2 pi R dash dr dash divided by R dash square plus X square whole power 1 by 2, and integration limits are from 0 to small r, because from the center you are bringing it to this last point, so that will be 0 to r. So if you evaluate that, you will be getting electric potential V as sigma divided by 2 epsilon naught into under root small r square plus X square minus X. This is the equation for electric potential of a uniformly charged disk. And if this is extended up to infinity, then it will become a sheet, and for that sheet x r tends to infinity. So therefore here V will be equal to sigma x divided by 2 epsilon naught. That becomes